Hi everyone, this is Giovanni, and I'm joined today by Greg. Hey Greg, how's it going?
Hi, I'm a robot man. My city's been destroyed. I can't believe it. I'm huge. Look at those power lines. I dropped my keyboard. Oh god.
It's what's incredible is that Greg actually has never seen this game before, and he accurately described the entire plot of the game right there.
I did it.
That's pretty incredible. Greg, this is Into the Breach.
Into the Breach.
Yeah, it is
Once more with us.
once more Into the Breach. It is basically a tactics game, kind of like Advance Wars, where you control an army of 3 Rift Walkers, and you have to fight a bunch of aliens who are trying to destroy a city.
Okay.
And the
Is your name? I'm sorry. Is your name Ralph?
right now, so there's an element, there's a roguelike element to this game. Basically, every time you die, you have to start over, and the only thing, what happens when you start over is that you travel back in time to be like, we need to go back and save it. A la something like, what's
Terminator?
what's that Tom Cruise movie? Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, Terminator.
Yeah, I guess Edge of Tomorrow, they don't go back in time.
Edge of Terminator.
Edge of Terminator. So right now I have Ralph Carlson, and I'm going to use these basic mechs to show you the basics of it, but let's jump in and I can show you what it looks like.
Woohoo!
Okay. Time to
Yeah,
fight some
jump in.
Yeah, it is 11:30.
Oh, you got an airdropped.
Yeah, so you get airdropped in, much like in the film Edge of Tomorrow. So the goal here is basically to clear at least 2 islands and then an endgame. You can clear up to 4 islands before going to the endgame.
I'm sorry, I couldn't help but notice that these islands have CEOs.
Yes. So this is a game about capitalism. These are all corporate islands. So we've showed up in the Vic of Time. They're overrunning our island archive. The old Earth relics have still some fight in them. You could help us. So we have to defend the corporate HQ in each island, basically. And we do missions.
So we're capitalism?
We're defending capitalism, basically. So this is a fiction game where that's a good thing to do.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do is, let's go into an easy one to start. This is a mission that we're gonna go into. The bonus here will get us energy, and what happens in this is you're put on this grid, and you place your armies at the beginning. The enemies are basically going to try and destroy the buildings, and each time they do, a piece of the grid's going to go down. If it goes down to 0, gotta go back in time because the world has been destroyed.
Oh, boy. Okay.
So there are a bunch of phases to battle. Right now, this is kind of the enemy setup phase. So there's going to be an enemy setup phase, our attack phase, and then the actual enemy attack phase. So what actually just happened is the enemies are showing you exactly what they're going to do on their attack phase. They're going to attack, this one's going to attack this building, this one's also going to attack this building, and this one has glued me up and is going to try and kill me.
You done got glued.
So it's kind of like a puzzle where I need to figure out each time, like, hey, how am I going to tackle this situation? So what I'm going to do is, I know that I gotta free this guy. What happens is if I hit somebody, I actually kind of knock them back a tile.
Okay.
So if I punch this guy, he'll die immediately, but he'll also get knocked back a tile, so that frees him.
Okay.
I know that this guy sort of shoots at range. And I can also place him, these little spots where the cracks are where enemies are going to come up on the next turn, on the enemy setup phase, basically. I can actually sit on them and block them from spawning in. And then this mech specifically here can shoot something that actually pushes enemies away. So if I shoot this here, this guy will go up here, this guy will go up here, and you'll see the red boxes move. Now that's where they're attacking. Yeah, so I moved my friend to do it. So now if I hit end turn, these guys are going to take their turns.
Uh-oh, your ship's underwater.
So when I'm underwater, that just means I can't attack, but I can move on my turn. So I will be fine. But as you can see, it sort of played out, and I was able to kind of manipulate where they were to make sure that none of the buildings actually got hit. Does that make sense so far? Does this all make sense so far?
Yes, so far. You got to move and attack at the same time, and then they do their attack, and then their move, basically.
Right. Exactly. So I'm going to try and get this guy freed up. So I'm going to shoot this guy out of the way, which just kills him, I guess.
I can't believe it.
This guy I could attack, but since he's not going to attack anything this turn, I can just kind of leave him and it'll be fine. It just means that I'm going to have more bugs to deal with, but since I'm actually blocking this spawn, like, that won't be too big of a problem.
Yeah.
Now what I can also do is this guy needs to be taken care of. So I'll punch him, get rid of the big boy, and...
Oh no, your friend is going to get attacked.
So I can move him. The issue that I've run into, because I didn't properly plan this out, is I have no way to basically stop this guy, because I can't move into a position where I can shift him. Oh, I can actually. Yeah, I can. Okay. So what I'm going to do is push him this way. He'll attack this building, which is bubbled, which means it can take a little bit of... It can take a hit, and it won't make my power grid go down.
Okay. Now, can you explain why bugs are trying to attack capitalism?
Well, so the bugs are the good guys, and this is a game where you play a bunch of anti-heroes, right? So the bugs come from the future, and they're like, "Oh, capitalism is wrong, and we know it." And as a bunch of government-sanctioned robots, obviously, you kind of have to stop that, and you learn a valuable lesson at the end of the game about friendship. But since it's a roguelike, you might not get there, you know?
It might be about a fiendship.
Yeah. And also I can heal. That's one of the other actions I can take instead of attacking, so I'll heal that guy up. He takes damage if they take damage if they block a spawn. So
that's why he took damage. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the kind of risk reward of it. And now that guy attacks the bubble. That guy there. That guy there.
Oh, he shoots with his butt.
He shoots with his butt. And that is the 5 turns. You get 5 turns. You basically just have to survive, and there are bonus objectives. So I did the little lightning here.
Okay. So you don't need to necessarily wipe them all out. It's just purely objective based.
Right.
You might have it might be turn based, time based, or you might have to eliminate. Are there situations where you do need to eliminate everything on the board?
So there are different things. Like I can go in here. Now this unlocked adjacent regions. So for this one, I have to take less than 3 grid damage, so like environmental damage, and protect a certain building. In this one, I need to destroy a dam and kill at least 7 enemies. And this one I need to defend the train. All you really have to do, you don't have to do any of these. These are optional objectives.
Yeah.
The thing that you need to do is protect buildings, because each time one dies, this bar will go down.
Yeah.
So
we have to go back.
And then you have to go back, much like Tom Cruise in the film Edge of the World.
The Edge of Terminator.
Right. So each mech also has like a little bit of a skill tree, and if I get this reactor core, which you can get at certain points during missions, we'll see if I get it during the next one. I can install that and get little updates. I can also get little buffs that appear here that I can kind of pull into this free space.
Just a wee little buff.
Just a wee little. But again, all of this goes away if you die, because it has that roguelike thing. The only thing that carries over is you get to choose one of your pilots. So I could say at the end of this, if Ralph survives, I can be like, Ralph, you're coming back in time with me, and I get all of his buffs. So right now he gets +2 bonus XP per kill, and that's kind of...
And that's... Ralph's the strong punchy boy?
He's the strong punch man right now. But if I wanted to, I could make Ralph the little tank boy, you know?
Oh, so you can just put the different pilots in different things.
Yeah, exactly. But again, you can only take one back with you.
So now you said that Ralph gets to take all his buffs with him. Does that include the actual, like, the weapons and the other slot that you said?
Yeah, all he takes with him is like this section here. He'll take his perks, and then whatever bot he's in gets those perks. So you start over at the end, and what happens is when I clear an island entirely, which will be basically I have to do 4 matches, and then the aliens freak out and they go to the corporate headquarters to attack, and then you have to do that. You get to go to like a shop at the end of it and spend these stars that you can get, which are currency, and that's where you can buy buffs, that's where you can buy upgrade cores, and that's where you can buy more energy if you like got totally screwed in the game.
Okay.
So let's go into one more here. Let's do
2-star. Oh, you think you're ready?
I think I can do it because I have Big Punch Man and I've got Ralph and I've got
Big Punch!
Cannon Boy. Okay, so they're gonna set up here.
Okay, but Ralph's not in the punch.
No,
Punch Boy
I
anymore.
moved Ralph because I know that
Okay.
he's valuable. You know.
Now, how do you know where to set your guys at the beginning? Do you just choose at random, or?
Yeah, I kind of just choose as close as I can. You don't know where things are gonna move, so I like to be as close. I could go like back here, but you have a limited range of movement, so I don't want to get screwed. Because
Okay,
you can.
so you want to be somewhere centrally, generally speaking, somewhere centrally located, so that you can get to anywhere.
Right. So
Gotcha.
Ralph gonna move this boy, destroy him.
Oh, he did.
He did.
That's extra XP for Ralph.
Exactly, because that's Ralph's buff. Punch this
Yeah.
boy, boom, that boy
Oh,
punched.
he did.
And now
That boy done been punched.
this is kind of a fun thing. So now I'm gonna actually use this to move these two guys, which pushes the enemy.
Which is gonna block him, and then
Yeah.
he's gonna take damage from blocking.
Exactly. That's how it works. So now on this
Hey.
spawn, he takes damage.
Well done, Giovanni.
Hey, thanks. I've played this game for like 10 hours over the course of 2 days because I really like it. This guy gives a passive bonus, by the way. That's kind of what he's up to right now. So if I don't attack this guy, he has like a range attack that goes all the way to this building, so I have to take care of him. So he's gone.
Wait, really? Goes all the way to that one?
Yeah.
I thought he shot out of his butt, so it would have gone.
There are different boys that look kind of similar. That boy specifically would cause an issue. So
Your punch boy. He can
So,
take damage.
he can take damage because he's a good punch boy, but I can also use this weapon to move him out of the way, so that now.
Oh, before that happens. Nice.
So this is why I kind of say it's almost like a puzzle game, because it's like you get a situation and you have to look and be like, what's the way that I can maximize my returns on this? You know, what's the way that I can make sure that buildings don't get hurt, that I don't get hurt, that I can like take care of spawning if I'm able to. So there's a lot of like interesting management to it. Oh god, that's super annoying.
Ooh, you're pretty rough shape up there.
So this rough shape, but not a impossible shape. So I have to make like a little bit of a decision here. This guy I can leave alone because he's just gonna punch a mountain if I move him. So like whatever, he can punch a mountain. More important that I take care of this guy, right?
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of in a situation where I'm like, do I take care of this guy that's trying to attack me, who I think is pretty powerful and might actually kill me in one hit, which is a bit of a problem? Or do I let my damage go down? There's also a chance that these will withstand and resist. That's what this grid defense number is. If I have a max power grid and I get more electricity, that'll raise that number and give me a better chance at the buildings holding up. So that's one of the reasons why you want to maintain your grid, because if you keep it maxed out, you keep your chance of it sort of
It's like the city kind of like rising against the power that's coming out.
Yeah.
Much like in any Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, this is exactly like the film Spider-Man.
Okay, cool. Spider-Man's.
Let's for the sake of this be heroic.
Nice.
And-
Hey, way to be a hero, not a zero.
And this guy can shoot pretty far. So
Oh, but only in
only
direct.
straight. Yeah, so I can't actually
You
like
can't
take
get
care
that
of this.
guy.
But I can at the
Can't
very
save your
least
friend.
damage both of these guys by bouncing them into one another. So that's
no.
better than nothing.
All right, let's see what this big boy does
I think he's gonna kill me, but I'm not
to
sure.
your tree friend.
Come on, buddy. Don't do it.
Why you crack-
Okay.
Whoa,
So because of
wow.
that, Ralph is dead.
Oh, that's Ralph.
Yeah. So Ralph's dead, which means now I can't take him over to another game. So
no.
that was probably the wrong decision that I just made. But
Oh,
for the sake of drama, I just wanted to show.
Well, I feel kind of bad about that.
Yeah.
That I made you kill Ralph.
No, it was my fault. So this is like another decision. Now that I'm down a guy, I'm like pretty screwed because there's 3 people I need to deal with on buildings. So almost most assuredly I will get screwed here. The question is just, how do I want to maximize it the most?
The good news is they're not going after the old Earth bar, so you're going to get that star.
I'm going to get that bonus. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in here. When you go in fire, you actually take fire damage on the next turn.
Okay.
There are different mech classes that you can unlock through achievements. Basically, every time you get an achievement, you get a star, and that's a currency you can use to buy a new mech class. So there's actually one that like is a fire-based class that resists fire and sets fires, which is pretty dope. This is not one of them. But what happens is you can go through with a set squad, or you can go through and fully customize your squad and take... I could have, like, 3 punch boys if I wanted to, or I could be, like, guy from the fire squad, you know, this moving mech, and someone from an ice squad or something. I'm going to try to do something tricky here. So the other thing you can do...
Tricky?
Tricky. Oh, that's not going to work the way I thought it was going to work. So what I could have done if this wasn't in the way...
Yeah.
Is I could push this guy down a block.
And then he would have attacked the guy.
He would have attacked this guy, and he probably would have killed him on that turn before he attacked, though I don't 100% know the order. But...
Oh, wait, can you hover over that attack order again?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that wouldn't...
So, yeah, on this turn, I'm going to get
that wouldn't have
one.
worked anyway, because...
Yeah.
2, 3, 4... Yeah, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So... I need to get rid of a boy.
I mean, if you move him, he's just still going to attack the other city, right?
Yeah, so if I move him, he'll just go up. He'll still be pointed in this direction, and he'll still attack this city. So there's no, like, good thing I can do except try and minimize damage. But since they're both attacking the same building, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, so might as well kill a guy. Get some XPs.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll kill this guy. Boom. Get 1 XP out of it. And then we'll see how this plays out. The building could resist. Take my fire damage.
Big money, no whammy, no whammy.
No.
No!
Lost some casualties. My grid went down a little bit. That's okay. Now they're fleeing. And yeah, that's pretty much how it works. So again, like, I got 2 stars there at the end of a full round.
Yeah.
And then we pay our respects to Ralph. Sorry, Ralph. So sorry, Ralph. You were my friend. Understood.
Okay, anyway.
So that's basically how it works, and the way it goes is you go through, do 4 in each, pick up as many bonuses as you can before you get to do the corporate, and then go back, pick another island, and keep doing that. If you do 2 islands, you're going to get less stuff for the last fight, theoretically, but also, if you're doing really well, maybe you want to go in with a high power grid and not risk it. And if you want to do 4, you know, it's like, well, you have to complete 4 islands then, which is tough, but you're going to get some, like, a lot of stuff and a lot of cores and whatnot to upgrade your stuff. So there's that kind of risk-reward to it. But that is, that's basically Into the Breach, the basics of it.
Is there like an end game to this game, or?
Yeah, so the end game is you doing... Once you do 2 islands, it unlocks the 5th island. And once you do 2, you can do that 5th island at any time, which is basically an end game where you have 5 turns to defend a bunch of pylons, and then you have 5 turns to defend a bomb that will go off and kill all the aliens.
Okay.
So it's basically like a 10-turn end turn. You want to go in with as much power grid as you can, because you get like more than 3 enemies at a time there, so you can't manage all of them unless you are very, very good and have picked a very good team of friends.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that's basically it. Are there any lingering questions?
Well, so I just want to talk about the style, you know?
Yeah, what do you got about the style?
Well, so it's an interesting, like, art kind of situation that you got going here.
Sure.
It's also, it seems like they try to, even though it's, like you said, kind of roguelike, it seems like they try to put some character into each of the like CEOs and then your pilots.
Right.
Now I'm not hearing audio for the game. Do they have voice lines, or are they like fully?
No voice lines. is basically just some good ass music.
Ass music.
Some ass music, and that's more or less it.
Okay.
But is some good tunes.
Cool.
So that's Into the Breach. This is again, this is from the makers of FTL, Faster Than Light, which is a game I had never played, but it's sort of a thing. It is available on Steam right now. I think it's really, really cool. If you like tactics games, if you like roguelikes, it is a interesting fusion of the two. And I have played it for a long time in a very short amount of time, and I've started to lose all sense of reality. So, Greg,
I mean, we all do that.
We all do that sometimes. So, Greg, thanks for joining me for this, and I hope
Thanks
you
for
learned.
showing me this Into the Edge of Tomorrow Terminator game.
Yes, that is the name of the game. If you're going on Steam, look for the Into the Edge of Tomorrow Terminator game, because that is the correct God-given name of this.
Oh, your boy's gonna die.
No, he's not. Cause I put him in a fire!
Fire!
Yeah! Goodbye.